Hey everybody, it's Christopher Small with CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, we do it well. Today I want to talk to you about what goes into a basic estate plan. Before I do that, I want to remind you, as always, if you need estate planning or probate help, or if something in this video sparks some interest, you can always set up a time to talk with us over the phone or in person for free by going to estatemeeting.com. Okay, let's talk about the basics of estate planning, because that is what a lot of people want to know. It's what I talk about all day, and I'll kind of break it down for you. So estate planning it covers you in two circumstances. Circumstance number one is if you are alive but incapacitated. So think you're in a car accident and you're in a coma, or you're old and you have dementia. Okay? In that circumstance, there are a couple of things inside of a basic estate plan that are going to protect you. The first thing is power of attorney. Power of attorney is basically like who is the person that can step in for you and take care of your day-to-day life. Pay the bills, just like do the things. If you have kids, sign permission slips, like those kinds of things. Who can do those kinds of things? The second one's going to be medical power of attorney, which is if you, who is the person that can step in and make medical decisions on your behalf. And then the third thing is going to be healthcare directive. Healthcare directive is basically if you are a vegetable, for example, do you want to pull the plug or not? There's no real nice way to talk about that, but that's what that is. If you do not have those things in place, then there can be some really big consequences. Getting someone to be appointed to be power of attorney for you, which is called guardianship in that case, takes some time. You have to go through court. It's expensive, and you don't get to pick who that person is. If you don't have someone named as your medical power of attorney, again, you don't have any way of picking who that person is. It can also limit the information that your family can get from medical staff. It's just not that fun. On the other side, by the way, if you have kids, what we usually also throw in is minor medical power of attorney and minor power of attorney. This basically just says if we, typically both parents, are incapacitated in some way, think you're in a car accident on date night, something like that, then this is the person that is in charge of taking care of the kids until we can get back on our feet. That's also a very important document, obviously. The other side of estate planning, and this is the side that most people know, is when you die, right? And for your basic estate plan, what's going to cover that is going to be your will. Will is going to name the person that's in charge of administering your estate, which is essentially gathering your assets, gathering your debts, paying off your debts, and distributing your assets. It's going to name your long-term guardians if you have kids, which is basically if something happens to both parents, who's going to step into that parental role and watch them. And then it's also going to tell the world where you want all of your stuff to go. If you do not have a will, a judge will be picking the long-term guardians for your kids, and the state will lay out how all of your assets are distributed, whether you like it that way or not. Okay. That's sort of the basics. There's one thing that's not covered in the basics, which I want to make sure I talk about here because it is important and it is a basic thing for many people, particularly if you have younger kids at home, or if you just have these things in mind. So if you have younger kids and you just have a will, and anybody else actually for that matter, it's important to understand that all a will does is direct the distribution of your property. So if something happens to you and all of your money goes over here to kid A, for example, if that kid is under 18, somebody will watch the money. But when they turn 18, they will get access to all of the assets unrestricted. Okay, they'll be able to do whatever they want. And if you have seen any of the shows about people inheriting money, or if you have seen younger people with money, you know it's typically not a good situation. The solution for that is a revocable living trust. It's basically like a box. You put everything in the box. You name the manager of the box, and you tell that manager of the box how you want everything in that box handled for your beneficiaries, who are your people, who are typically your kids, if you die. And what you can do with that is you can extend the distribution schedule over time. You can limit when distributions are made, and you can set it up so that there's a higher likelihood that those assets are going to be used for good instead of evil. It's like I like to say, or just squandered. Like the example I always give is, kid wants to go to college. They say, hey, trustee, I want a car. I'll take a Ferrari. Trustee says no. You get a Jeep. That kind of thing. So It's just there to protect them. It provides some asset protection for them, and it's something that most people would consider to be a basic foundational thing if you're in that circumstance. Okay, that's it. So those are the things that you want to know about. Those are the things that will cover you in most circumstances. When you get outside of this, you're really talking about often estate tax planning, gift planning, things like that are sort of advanced. But if you got nothing, then you definitely want to consider doing something like this. It's really important, and it can protect you when you are your most vulnerable. Okay. And one other thing to consider: if something does happen to you, you can't go back and do this after the fact. All right. That is it. I'm Christopher Small. I am the owner of CMS Law Firm. We do estate planning, we do probate, we do it well. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you know someone needs to hear it, please share it with them. If you have a question or comment, please leave it. And if you want to talk more about your situation, or you have more questions, and you want to just talk privately, you can set up a time to talk with us over the phone or in person for free by going to estatemeeting.com. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.